Good morning. Today is Tuesday. It is the 19th day of Adar, the second Adar. And we continue chapter 37 in Tanya. The Alter Rebbe discusses what is the purpose of the neshama, the soul, coming down to this world. And yesterday we discussed in length about the job that every single Jew has. It is the world that was divided into 600,000 parts in general, given each neshama. Like we said yesterday, there are 600,000 general neshamas, which are also subdivided. Each one has 600,000 sub-neshamas and so on. And there is the calculation we made yesterday. And every particular neshama has a particular mission, which Hashem makes sure that each individual finds their mission. And their mission is that wherever they find, they're spreading the light, removing the godly energy from the evil forces. And how? By observing the 365 negative commandments. And the question now is, what about the neshama itself? The soul, which we explained in earlier chapters, is a nefesh elokah mimal mamash, chelek elokah mimal mamash. It is apart from Hashem, apart from God, that God comes into each and every one. And as we explained, that a Jew has more than one neshama. There is the godly soul and there is the animal soul. So we speak about the elevation and the refining of the animal soul. But as far as the godly soul, does the godly soul gain anything from this? Does the godly soul need any refinement? And here says the Alter Rebbe that really everything is not for the godly soul. The godly soul does not need any tikkun, any refinement, any fixing. In fact, the godly soul is united with God before it went down to this world, much, much more than it is ever possible to be connected when it lives in a physical body. Even though the holiest person, the holiest tzaddik, is not able to gain connection and unity with God while in the physical body the way it is before it comes down to the physical body. Because no matter what, the physical body does limit on the godly revelation. So the Alter Rebbe is going to explain now that this is the Soid Golus HaShechina. Ultimately, this is a mystery. The mystery of the exile of the Shechina, of the divine presence. Just like Hashem has a desire that the divine presence should come down into this physical world. And while in this physical world, it should bring the light of the godliness into this. Hashem wants to have an abode in this world. And refining and connecting this physical world with the very essence of Hashem. And that is done through our work. And this basically, the Alter Rebbe answers the question that he asked a couple of chapters ago. Now, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of the Beinoni, that a person who is an intermediate that is a person who observes every single mitzvah, but yet is not able to transform and to change the very essence of the animal soul. So what is the goal? What is the purpose of living a whole life and trying, struggling, and yes, you're doing great things, but you're not changing anything in essence. So that's what Alter Rebbe here answers, that this is the mystery of the exile of the Shekhinah. So the question is, does the neshama gain something? The answer is, it doesn't need to gain anything, but it does gain as a reward. As a reward for what it does in this world, the neshama gains an aliyah also. The neshama gains yet a higher connection with Hashem because of what it does in this world. But not that the neshama needs anything to correct. The soul, the godly soul, is pure and does not need any correction. So let's see it inside the way the Alter Rebbe explains this. Says the Alter Rebbe, V'chol nitzutz leyorad lo'elam hazeh. Each spark, when we said the spark, the subdivisions of the souls that are considered the sparks, each sparks did not descend into this world to perfect itself, but to perfect the body and vital soul, as the Alter Rebbe will soon conclude. So having touched upon the subject of the soul's descent, however, he adds a parenthetical comment. He says, emphasizing the magnitude of this descent, that the neshama has such a great high descent as we just explained. It says, although it is indeed a great descent, a veritable exile for the soul. It's literally an exile. The neshama goes down to this world, it's literally an exile. Because it cannot be, what is exile? When you go, you're not in your home, you're not in your place, you cannot be who you are. The neshama is limited in exile in this body. Because even if it becomes in this world a perfect tzaddik, serving Hashem with fear and delighting in an abounding love of Him. There's different levels of love connecting to Hashem. Ahava betanugim is one of the greatest levels of love. So yet, even the tzaddik who reaches that level of love, nevertheless, says the Alter Rebbe, he cannot reach the level of connection with God the way it was before he came into the physical body. It says, Lo yagia lemaylo izdveikusoi b'Hashem b'dchilu u'rechilu. It will not attain the quality of his attachment to God with fear and love that the soul experienced prior to its descent into this corporal world, or even to a fraction of its earlier fear and love. It cannot reach even a fraction of the love that and the connection that it had, the soul, prior to coming down to this world. In fact, there is no comparison or similarity whatsoever between them. Meaning between the love and fear that experienced before it came down to the body and after. Whereas is obvious to every intelligent man, that the body could not bear, etc., the love and fear of such intensity. They say I think they say about the Maimonides, before, when he would put on tefillin, do a mitzvah or something, he would really tremble. He could see that it was so intense that his body couldn't take it. So you have this level of intensity of love and of connecting to Hashem. When you live in a physical body, it's overwhelming. Continues Alter Rebbe, Elo, so what is the purpose of going down to this world? Elo yeridasa elo olam hazeh. Leislabesh baguf v'nefesh achiyunis hu kedei letaknom bilvad. It's descent, but it's descent into this world. To be clothed in a body and vital soul is for the sole purpose of perfecting them. To perfect the body, to perfect the vital soul. Ulafridom meyora shel sholosh klipis atmeyos al yedei shmiras shasa loisase vanfeim. How to fix it? Says the Alter Rebbe, to separate them from the evil of the three impure klipos. That's the ultimate darkness, the impure side of this world. By observing the 365 prohibitions and their offshoots. What is the offshoots? The prohibitions is the biblical prohibitions, the offshoots is the rabbinical prohibitions. So that is how you separate the animal soul, the vital soul, and the body from the three impure klipos. When you, as we explained, the 365 prohibitions correspond to the 365 sinews, the veins that keep the blood from going in the wrong places, and therefore also being separated from the wrong places. So those 365 prohibitions, when a person keeps them and watches them, stays away, it does not give the nourishment to the evil, and it does not gain nourishment from the evil. And and to elevate his vital soul together with the portion of the world at large that relates to it. That's what we explained yesterday. Each neshama has a portion that is connected with your particular particular soul. Your soul is connected with a particular part in this world that you need to purify, you need to elevate, and you need to bring it up from the klipas nega and connect it to the kedusha, to the holy side. That's what Alter Rebbe says, "Ulekashram uleyachdam be'oir ein soif baruch hu, asher yamshich bahem al yedei kiyumoi kol ramach mitzvahs aseh benafshei chiyunis." And binding and uniting them with the Ein Sof light, which he draws into them by performing all the 248 positive mitzvahs through the agency of the vital soul. Because without the vital soul, you cannot do any mitzvahs. So the neshama uses the vital soul, doing the mitzvah, and thereby bringing the light into your vital soul, the light of Hashem, and into every part of the world that belongs to your neshama. Since the vital soul is the one that performs all the mitzvahs involving action, as explained above in chapter 36, that the divine soul can activate the body in performance of the mitzvahs only by way, the divine soul can activate the body only by way of the vital soul. And as it's likewise it is written in Eitz Chaim, Portal 26, Ki haneshama atzma eina tzricha tikun klal cholo. That the divine soul itself does not need perfecting at all. And there is no need for it to be embodied in this world, in a body and a vital soul, except to draw down light to perfect them, to perfect the vital soul and the body. And says the Alter Rebbe here, "V'hu mamash dugmas soid golus hashchina levar nitzaytze mecholo." And this parallels exactly the mystery of the exile of the Shechina, whose purpose is to refine the sparks of the holiness which fell into the klippos, and so too does the divine soul enter into the exile within the body and vital soul in order to perfect them and to extract from them the sparks of holiness which they contain. So it's not about the neshama, it's about the body and it's about the vital soul, to elevate them and to connect them. But what's with the neshama itself? There is the Hasidic song that Rabbi Zalman Bronstein sings. That's Tzippi's grandfather. And it goes, Aneshama yeredes lesovay chaguf. The neshama comes down into the body. Because before it comes down to the body, when it's up in heaven, it tells the neshama, Hashem says to the neshama to go down. And says, the neshama screams, vai. How terrible. It's to go down to this physical body, to be in the exile, to be separated from Hashem. And the answer, Yerido zu tzoirech aliyo. That this going down, this descent, is a tzorech aliyah. Is for the purpose of an aliyah, purpose of an elevation. That all of this is worth. It's worth to go down in exile. It's worth to go having these challenges, because it does get an elevation. So not only does the body get an elevation and purification, and the vital soul gets an elevation, which causes also the elimination of the complete evils, but the neshama is also getting an aliyah. Because the neshama is used to elevate the body, the neshama itself gets also ultimate elevation. So let us hope this elevation should be very, very soon. We can't wait. Especially we see what's happening in the world. We need Mashiach right now. And don't forget to share this and subscribe. Met Hashem, we'll see you tomorrow morning as well. Any questions?
Thank you, Rabbi Cohen.
You're welcome.